You're a cow on moo.
I am a cow on moo.
Well, hello, everybody. I was in the store the other day, and a guy handed me a very nice pen that he picked up off the floor, and he says, "Is this yours?" And I said, "Let me have it a second." I wrote something on a piece of paper, and it says, "Yep, that's my handwriting, so it must be my pen."
Must be.
And
that's fair.
Yeah,
totally fair.
Yeah. Apparently, one of my passwords was compromised on the web, so I tried to change it to beef stew, but the app said it wasn't strong enough.
How tasty.
I was on my way to Portland a couple of weeks ago, going to a Furlandia meeting, actually, and I noticed there was a big, huge pot field not too far off from the freeway, and there were cows in the field, so I figured the stakes have never been higher.
Oh, Lord.
And if you think swimming with dolphins is expensive, try swimming with sharks. It costs an arm and a leg.
It does.
Indeed.
But enough of this insanity. Let's get to our regular insanity.
Yeah.
Well, greetings and Moobarkfluff to all the creatures in the Podiverse. I am Bearly, and you are listening to Bearly Furcasting, featuring Taebyn, the show that asks the question, is a zebra black with white stripes or white with black stripes?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Rain,
Yes.
TikTok, Cheetaro, and Ziggy are patiently sitting here waiting. Moobarkfluff, and how are all of you?
Doing fantastic.
So far, so good.
Moobarkfluff and doing somewhat well.
Doing somewhat well. Okay,
Doing the
well,
fluff.
Yeah.
Taebyn was here a second ago, but then a leaf blew by the window and he ran out. He'll be right back. Oh, wait a minute. There he is. Okay. I see him running past the window. He's coming in the door. Hey, Taebyn.
Hi. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a leaf that I had to go run after, and I did it, and now I'm back.
Did you catch it?
I was so close. I reached out my pausey to get, and it just fluffed away, just like a leaf that fluffs like a squirrel or something. And I actually have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but I do know
par for the course.
It is. The course it's a par 3 course, and I am making 3 on every. Wow, I am. Hi there. So, it's a great day. But of course, to get us back on track, time for Jesse for a walk. How you should do about English, and 2 shout-outs. Shout out to Kuya Fox, who recently said that our podcast is their favorite podcast.
Wow.
I only know because they said it on Twitter or Blue Sky or something like that.
Have they ever listened to a podcast?
So maybe that's why it is their favorite.
Yeah, I mean, could be their first.
If we were the only podcast they listened to and ours were their least favorite, I would be unhappy about it. So at least there's not that scenario going on.
Okay.
And also a shout out to Albrecht the Fox, who started listening to the show really recently and said that they love my voice. It's very comforting.
Oh,
okay, well, thank you. But also, they said they really love the show so far, and it's great. And they're going to, just today, they said they were going to start at episode 1. And I'm like,
oh, good Lord.
Okay. But I gave some disclaimers.
Yes, I'm glad. Yes.
I definitely gave disclaimers. So that's great. And their name will come up again a little bit later when we talk about media. So anyway, those are my things that I have to say for the thing that just happened.
Okay.
Good boy.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. So that takes us up to things that Taebyn doesn't understand. Taebyn, is there anything you don't understand?
Life.
What's life?
A magazine.
How much?
89 cents.
Too much.
That's tough.
What's tough?
Life.
No, that was Ziggy.
Ziggy.
Oh.
It says it right after Bearly. Life.
What's life?
A magazine.
How much?
89 cents.
Too much.
That's tough.
What's tough?
Life.
What? Oh, no, that's enough. Okay, we're done with this. That's
Now we know what. Okay, now we know. Now we know. We are all caught up. There's a lot of things I don't understand actually just within what just happened. But yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Exactamundo. So, all right. Well, that takes us up to the past today, and we do have a couple. First, starting with Cheetaro.
Yeah, so I have a slight change to something that I said during our selfish plug portion from season 6, episode 20, which was just our last episode that just came out. I need to correct something that I said wrong.
Okay.
I said that Furlandia's room block was open until the 3rd of May. That is not correct. It's really open until the 30th of April.
Okay.
I'm so sorry for the confusion, but make sure you get your hotel rooms booked before the 30th of April. Otherwise, they're not in our block.
How close is the room block to being full?
We have about 25% of our room block still available.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So go out there and get your room. Of course, the unfortunate part is that they're all king-size beds, but the king-size rooms with single king-size beds also have a couch in them that is a hide-a-bed that also holds 2 people. So technically, the king-size bed single still holds 4 people in the room. So, so just so everybody knows.
Also, allow me to make a quick reminder that the Good Furry Award nominations are open until June 30th, 2026, and the categories are Good Egg, Image, and Furtastic. They also have a Lifetime Achievement Award, but that's not open to nominations. So go to the Good Furry Award website, the Uncle Bear Publishing, to make your nominations. The link will be in the show notes. Taebyn, do you have some past today?
So recently on the show, like the last previous episode, season 6, episode 20, and on season 6, episode 16, I talked about immensely huge numbers, and Bearly asked last time, after I talked about the one last time, what they were used for, and I said I would say some things about it on the next episode, and this is that next episode. So, in looking into this, lots of fun things actually came up that I wanted to talk about, so I will actually put this in, and instead of doing a story time for this episode, I will do just another math, just basically a part 2 from last time. So all you first stay tuned and listen to me talk about that later.
But now I think it's time we should center ourselves, zen out, and hear some formations from our resident guru, Taebyn.
Whoa. So for any of you furs that don't know, I do this thing on every episode and I just drop my card. And I don't do that on every episode, but this one I did. So, and after I pick up the card, it's a very special affirmations here. I read some affirmations to help confirm our amazing lives. And these days I am reading positive vibes, a whole bunch of doggy cards that tell us some amazingly wonderful affirmation type things. And I do 3 on each episode. And so here are the 3 for this week. I release my fears and sprint towards my dreams. Ooh. And on the back of the card, there's always a little thing about it. This one is conquer a fear. Identify a small fear you face and take steps to confront it. This could be speaking in public, starting a new hobby, or asking for a raise.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to ask for a raise.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Which means if you stand, all you have to do, you don't even have to ask, you just have to go in an elevator and press the right button.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a
Yes,
raise.
Except the emergency button.
Yeah, don't press that.
That will not get you a raise. It might get you a fine instead.
That's fine.
That's fine. And the next one is a little baby pit bull puppy that says, I face life's hurdles with determination and grace. Ooh. And on the back it says, goal setting. Set a realistic goal that involves overcoming a personal hurdle. Break the goal into manageable steps and track your progress.
Good advice.
Good
Yes.
advice.
Very good advice.
Breaking stuff is always good.
Breaking stuff?
Yes.
Get your anger out.
Get your
Yes.
it's, okay. There, it's true. It's true. And on this one is, I believe it's not an Irish setter. I'm not sure, but it's a little fluffy doggy that says, "I listen to my heart and trust my journey."
Whoa.
And on the back, trust your intuition. Take a moment each day to sit quietly and listen to your inner voice. Learning to trust your gut feelings can guide you through life's decisions with confidence and peace.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow.
wow.
And that concludes our affirmations for this, I'm getting creepy, week.
Yes.
Very.
We should probably just move on now
Okay.
before that goes in some other direction that it shouldn't go in.
Yes, we don't want it to go in that
Yes.
direction whatsoever. So. Well, let's move on to our next segment, which I was going to do obscure words, but I wanted to do this or that. But I knew that would take up too much time. So I'm going to mash them up.
Mash up.
Oh,
Okay.
This should be fun.
I'm going to give you each a pair of obscure words, and you'll have to choose, and then I will tell you the definitions. So
Okay.
we're going to start with TikTok. Would you rather suffer from agromania or agoromania?
Agoromania.
Okay, do you know what agoromania is?
It's when you really want a lot of agora on your salad. No, that's arugula.
Agoromania is the intense desire to be inside.
Like work.
Okay.
Yeah, and agromania is the intense desire to be outside.
Outside.
So,
Okay.
there you go. Okay.
Yes.
Next is going to be Cheetaro. Would you rather be an icterine or a rupicaprine?
I did.
Capri-Sun.
At first, I thought you said nectarine.
No,
but
icterine.
Me too.
I'm not even sure I could reproduce that second one, so I'm just going to say the ictarine.
Icterine. Okay.
Yeah.
An icterine is pertaining to Oreos and related birds.
Oh, not the little dessert
Or-
cookies.
Oreos
No,
like
Oreos,
cookies?
not
Oreos.
Oreos.
Oh.
Oreos. Yes. Or
Oh, okay.
related birds.
Because
And-
Cheetaro
okay.
doesn't have a creamy feeling like that.
No.
No,
And
no, I do not.
rupicaprine is pertaining to chamoises, which are goats and
Chamoises.
antelopes.
Goats
Oh.
and antelopes.
There you go.
Well, you know,
and they have the hammer.
As a
Come on,
cheetah,
come on.
both of those would be very tasty.
They would be
so-
very tasty.
yeah.
Yes.
They would be tasty.
Okay.
Nom, 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 nom.
I'm going to give this one to Rain
Hmm.
because he doesn't speak
Okay.
French. So, Rain,
Not
Would
really,
you-
but yeah.
would you rather have a bowl of pissenlit or would you rather have a mug of scrumpy?
Well,
Hmm.
first of all, I want to know, is Lee cute?
He's adorable.
I'm not hearing it.
It's like
Okay, then I'll take the piece on Lee.
pissenlit. Pissenlit is a French dandelion greens salad,
Oh,
and
sounds
scrumpy
Hmm.
is a strong apple cider made in Western England.
Dang it. That would have been good too, though.
Yes,
I do like a good apple cider.
You have the sun,
Is-
I'll take the cider for you.
right.
See, we share.
Okay, Ziggy,
Yes.
would you
Señor.
rather be a ra'ad or an acipenser?
A Spencer sounds like a suspender, so I'll go for the first word, which I don't remember what
The ra'ad.
it is. Ra'a.
Ra'ad.
Yeah.
The ra'ad is an
Ra'ad.
electric catfish,
Oh.
and an acipenser is not an ass dispenser, but an acipenser is a sturgeon.
Oh.
Ah.
Like a
Yeah,
sturgeon.
I'm
Like
a
a
allergic
Hey.
thingy.
Okay.
Swimming for the very first time.
All right, Taebyn,
Hi.
would you rather be unaffable or collywobbled?
Oh my cow, definitely collywobbled.
Okay, do you know what collywobbled is?
I have no idea, but thanks for asking.
Okay, well, collywobbled is to be nervous, anxious, and queasy.
Oh, I'm always collywobbled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I
Well,
know
he
that
is
feeling
part
well.
collie.
It's
He's part
true.
border collie. Yeah.
And unaffable is calm, cool, and collected.
Oh yeah, definitely the one I picked it would be the more natural thing for me to
That's
be.
definitely
Okay.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuffle
I've
wobble.
got 3 more, so I'm going to go with TikTok. Would you rather be fudgeling or cudgeling?
Cudgeling.
Okay. Do you know what cudgeling is?
Beating someone with a cudgel.
Yes, with a stick. Yes,
No.
exactly. Okay.
Good guess.
And
Yeah.
fudgeling is pretending to work while actually doing nothing.
Oh, it's not
Oh,
not beating
no.
some it's
Oh.
not beating someone
Something
with fudge.
No, it's not. No.
Oh,
I
Um,
order a new name tag.
that would be tasty.
Yes. Let's go with Taebyn on this one.
Oh my cow.
Would you rather be petrichor? No. Would you rather experience petrichor or noisome?
Well, if I get to have a fuzzy apple, then I would like to petrichor. Because it's a fuzzy. Okay, no, I don't even know what's going on right there, so I'll just say petrichor. Because
Okay.
I don't even remember what the other word was.
Noisome.
Noise.
Petrichor is the pleasant earthly scent after it rains,
Oh, I do want to be petrichor thing.
and noisome is the unpleasant odors similar to dying fish on the beach.
Oh my cow! I think I chose correctly on that one.
I would think so.
Okay, let's go. Last one with Cheetaro.
Yeah.
Would you rather have trammel or lemniscate?
I don't know
You know,
what that means, but I like it.
Lemniscate sounds like something that was in The Lord of the Rings. And from what I understand, according to the hobbits, it was rather tasty. So I'll say Lemniscate.
Okay, well, lemniscate means to be infinite,
And I know why, but I'll let you finish.
Eternal.
But then I'll say things.
and trammel would mean limited.
Oh.
So a lemniscate is an actual, like a two-dimensional figure that looks like an infinity sign. I mean, that's not what it is, but it's like there's a equations that graph it and stuff. So that makes sense to me that lemniscate
Yeah.
would mean infinite. So
Yeah, so I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Eight.
That was
Yeah.
cute. Yeah, different.
things
that
make
was kinda fun.
sense.
Awesome.
An 8 on the side.
And
Woo.
you got 8 credits for your CEUs by learning all those words. So,
I
Ding, ding.
am so full of CEUs, I don't know what to do with myself.
yeah, so
Celebrate.
full of CEUs. All right. Well, that takes us up
It
to our
sounds like a breakfast cereal.
yes.
It does.
Get a part of this complete breakfast:
my
juice
Lord.
toast and a bowl of
CEUs.
CEUs.
Yes.
And it
Celebrate.
is lemniscate.
It is so lemniscate.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Peace on
Lemniscate.
Peace only. All right. So, media. I have watched the latest season of the Great British Baking Show. I watched the Predator movie Badlands. Now,
Oh yeah, we watched that a while back.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives a good background on the predator species, the Yautja or
Yes.
Yautja. And there's a lot of Easter eggs. For example, one of the skulls on the trophy wall was of the aliens that Will Smith defeated in
Mhm.
Independence Day.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Crossover of
Oh, yeah.
sorts.
Crossover source.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was.
So-
I thought it was of all the Predators / Predators Aliens crossover movies. I thought it was one of the better ones because
Yeah.
it was kind of lighthearted, but also like had some of the best special effects I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that the creature that they befriend at the end.
Oh yeah.
Big finger.
Don't say
Yeah.
though because you'll ruin it. For
Yeah, I
everybody
will.
who hasn't seen it.
No.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
up to date on RuPaul Drag Race and the various sitcoms of Ghosts and Georgie and Mandy's first wedding or marriage.
Mhm.
I started the rewatch of the first season of Monarch Legacy of Monsters in order to catch the hubby
Ooh.
up.
Hubby up?
Mhm.
Hubby
What's
up.
a hubby up?
That's a hubby up. It's like a hobby horse, but different.
You did
Uh,
say hubby up. Okay.
I did catch the hubby up. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
he wanted to watch it, and I was already into season 2, and I said, "Well, I'll watch season 1 with you to catch you up on it, so that we can move forward as they release the episodes."
And
So,
that's why the hubby was up.
yes,
I
Up,
see.
up and
Okay.
away.
I'm watching the new season of Guy Fieri's Tournament of Champions. I like that show.
Ooh.
I'm
Ooh.
kind of fascinated with these docu-series that are out there now. Like I was saying, the Lost Places and the Strange this and the that and the
Mhm.
and the one I'm watching now is called Strangest Objects. There's lots of flash and falderall, but it's entertaining to see the various objects that have been created or found around the globe. Now, what's really interesting about this is they make it look like these analysts are looking at this device in this really fancy 3D thing that's
Mm.
spinning around, but I know they're just standing there leaning on a table looking at a green screen. So I know that.
Right.
And they
Have-
feel
have-
really silly and just standing there and
Exactly,
looking at
yes.
nothing. So yes.
Have they done those little Roman tetrahedron thingies that are found all over the place?
the little
Yeah.
the little bally things with the
Yeah, well,
with the
they're like
nubbins.
little.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they look like a D&D dice, but with holes through the middle of them.
You're a D&D dice.
Yeah, yeah. No, they haven't
Yeah,
got to that one yet.
sometimes.
They did have
Oh.
something with this, like these little balls that have intricate designs on protuberances that come out of them, which it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Protuberances.
Okay.
Protuberances, yeah.
That's
Ooh,
it. I like
yeah.
that word.
I started watching Stargate
Protuberances.
Universe. It's entertaining
Oh,
enough.
sorry.
I know it's entertaining, but the first 5 episodes are all just, we're all
Yeah,
gonna
we're gonna
die
die.
du jour. It's like after the third time
Yeah.
that the ship saves them and does it what it's supposed to do, I
Yeah.
think they would
It's a-
learn, hey, it looks like we're going to do something bad, but the ship has just been doing this, but it's an ancient ship. It's been going for
Yeah.
millennia,
Millennia, yeah.
so it probably knows how to take care of itself. Maybe just go along for the
Yeah.
ride.
It's
They just go along for
it's
the ride. I
not
mean,
a
come on.
horrible
How hard is that?
series, but it got so poorly received that Sci-Fi just kind of gave up on it real early because it was back when Sci-Fi Channel was in charge of all the Stargate stuff.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, when the ratings weren't good enough, they canceled it pretty quick and moved on to Atlantis and just put all the resources into Atlantis, which is a much better series than Universe.
Okay. Oh, all right. I'll believe it. And that's what I've been watching for my media. Taebyn, how about you?
You reminded me of something I wanted to ask you, and I keep forgetting when you mentioned the cooking shows and everything you're watching. I haven't seen it, but I saw like on Netflix a movie called Chef, and I don't know what it's about. But when I saw that ad, I immediately thought of you. So have you seen and/or heard of this show?
I have not.
Okay, well,
So
maybe for next time I'll do some looking at it and get more information, because I did not give you very much information right now because I
You
don't
did
have
not,
any.
no.
So I'll try and get
Secrecy.
more information, and I'll give you more information for the past today for next time.
Okay. So, and what have you been watching then?
Oh yeah, right. It's my turn. Okay.
Yes.
Button truck
right.
with a puppy.
How quickly we forget. So we're almost done with the first season of Hunters. I don't know if I've talked about Hunters on the show before. Have any of you seen or heard of Hunters?
Is that the Nazi Hunters movie
Yeah,
show?
the Nazi Hunters.
Ah.
Yeah. Have you seen it or just heard of it?
No, I've seen it. I've watched
Yeah.
the entire episode series. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you liked it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We have one more episode of the first season, so we're still on the first season, but we're almost on the first season. I really like it. And of course, for all you furs that don't know, it's as well as Bearly just said, it's the hunters are Nazi hunters. There's Nazis in New York, and Logan Lerman and Al Pacino are in it. And they do a really good, especially Al Pacino does an awesome job. And it's a drama I cannot talk. Drama thriller set in 1977. It's a pretty good show. Yeah, I'm liking it.
I think I talked about it several seasons ago
Oh,
on this
you did.
show when I talked about it, and we talked about the fact that the boy
Logan Lerman.
that was his very first television role ever,
Oh, really?
and he got casted next to
Al
Al Pacino. I mean,
Wow.
how
I mean,
amazing
How-
is that?
Yeah. How
that's
did
that's either
wow.
going to be great for you or really bad for you, depending on how you
Handle
listen to
that.
what Al says. Yes.
Right? Yes.
He doesn't. He does a good job. He doesn't seem all nervous that he's next to Al Pacino.
No,
but
he's
okay,
doing a
No,
great
that's-
job of
that's
acting.
really-
yeah.
That's
So-
fantastic. Yeah, because that has like tanked a lot of actors. Like when they get up against somebody like Al Pacino, it has
I
tanked
bet.
their careers because they're just too nervous to act.
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm
I
excited
read
to
an
know,
article
honey.
about him, and he says when he got the part, he said, I had heard of Al Pacino, but I really never saw any of his work.
Oh, well,
Well,
that's
that-
actually probably
that
good
helps
for
a
him
little
then.
bit.
Well,
Yeah,
most
that's
of his
probably
work is
why.
R-rated.
Right?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
So let's see. We finished all the. I don't remember. I've talked about the. Yeah, I did. I mentioned the Kaminsky method a few episodes ago, I think, and we finished season 3 of that. There's only 3 seasons, so we finished the whole thing. The whole thing is just so great. They ended the whole series very well. No Loon's End. Definitely a conclusion. They didn't like have any dangling like, oh well, what if this happened? It's just a solid ending. Really great. The whole show was just. There's hilarity ensues. It's emotional. It's sad. It's just a really great show the whole way through. And of course, Michael Douglas does an awesome job with it. And as I mentioned before, there's little cameos by people like Elliot Gould and Danny DeVito and everything. And it's just a really good show. I think I highly recommend if you want something to watch. And that's on Netflix. For any fur that wants to check it out. Oh yeah, and of course, Ellen Atkin is also plays a big role aside of Michael Douglas. We started a Netflix show called The Detroiters. Has anyone heard of that?
The Detroiters?
The Detroiters.
No.
It's a Netflix show in 2017, and it's about 2 men that they're like from childhood, like best friends or something. And so it's about these 2 men that make low budget commercials in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
It's rated 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb and 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. And so it's like, okay, this should be a good thing. And so we watched the first episode the other night. And after watching that episode, we did not agree with those numbers.
Okay.
And actually, I had not seen those numbers yet. We just watched the show and we're like, I think I did a slight guffaw thing at one point, but it wasn't very good. But then I saw these numbers and we're like, okay, maybe it's just a pilot thing or something, because sometimes pilots aren't very good. So last night we watched the next episode, which was actually a lot better. I don't know, of course, if it's going to stay up to that, but it was good enough to make us want to keep watching it. Like, we actually laughed during the episode, like out loud and stuff. So we'll see. I'm sure you'll hear more about this on the next episode to see how it goes. So let's see what else. Oh, I started rewatching the first half of season 3 of Beastars now that the second half of the season is out.
I have
So,
to watch that.
of course, we all know, and I've talked about this on the show before, that the third and final season came out, like a year ago or whatever, and I watched it, and it was 12 episodes, and it got to the end, and I'm sure I talked about this on the show, and it got to the end, it's like, that was the most horrible episode to, not just a series, but even if it was a season, but this was a whole series. Why is it ending like that? Then I find out, oh, that's the first part of the last season. They're not actually releasing the next half until next year. Well, so finally now the second half is out, and so and of course, instead of just going right into watching the second half, I restarted watching the first half of the second season again, or the third season again, because of course that's what you gotta do. And I'm really glad I did, because I mean, obvious reasons, like Legoshi and everyone's there, but I'm remembering a lot of cool things, and so I've watched the second episode just today. So I'm excited to get through that and then get on to it. And the second part of season 3 also has 12 episodes, so I got a roller coaster of fluff ahead of me. I'm excited.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. It is. It's like going to actually take a while to watch it. And then I watched Zootopia 2. Woo!
Yay!
Woo! Yay!
Yeah,
We still have to watch it too.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Of course, I think Cheetaro, was it last episode you talked about, or episode before last?
Couple episodes ago.
It was It was a few episodes ago.
Yeah. And as Cheetaro talked about it before, he mentioned some fun Easter eggs, like a quick scene from The Shining, And so, of course, I caught that. That was awesome.
Mhm.
And I loved the polar bear drinking from a Coke bottle.
I know, right?
A total quick thing that if you you have to know things to get that, but yeah, it was awesome. But I loved it overall, the whole plot. The animation was obviously even better than the first one, but it was just really great. Love the plot, it was just really great. Great storyline, beautiful animation. Definitely recommend it for all you furs out there, especially if you're into Nick Wilde and Bunny, then definitely watch
Mhm, mhm.
Zootopia 2. So that's what I've been watching. I've been playing Rural Kingdom, Monkeys Go Pop a little bit Beat Saber. We've talked before, or at least I've talked on the show before, about Battle Mart, a cross between Demio and D&D, and a really cool thing. And I haven't played it for a long time. I've been wanting to play it again. So I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I gave a shout out to Albrecht the Fox, and I said later in the media section, I give him another shout out. Well, now's the time. Yay, everyfur say yay.
Yay!
So another shout out to Albrecht the Fox, because actually, this was the other day, they requested that I post more VR games on my YouTube. And all you furs may or may not know, me and Rain did a little Demio thing, and I posted that on my YouTube. And so Albrecht was like, I'd really like you to do some more VR game stuff, because he said, it's entertaining and calming to watch. Like, okay. So anyway, I'd been wanting to play Battle Market again, as I said, so I'm going to soon post some of me playing, but it'll be a solo thing. But I'm going to
I can
post...
play with you if you want.
Well, hold on, that brings me to my next thing. So I'm going to do some Battle Mark solo, and then post that. But then that brings me to, of course, say that you and me, Rain, we should do Demio again sometime.
Oh yes, definitely. I've actually got space in my studio now to actually play VR without like running into things.
Well,
really
this
nice.
is
That's always helpful.
That is really nice. That's perfect timing.
Stop strips of the hospital in between.
Yeah, my studio is like twice as big as my old studio was at my old house. So
cool.
This one's
well,
huge.
Rain, do you know if does Battlemark is that? No, that is a multiplayer thing too. It does have multiplayer.
I think it is.
mode.
Yeah, I haven't got
That's
it yet,
right.
but I looked at it in the store.
Maybe I'll do Battlemark. Maybe we'll both do Battlemark. Maybe we'll do Demo. I don't know. We'll do something. So all you furs
sounds
on
fun.
my YouTube, we'll post some more VR game stuff. So thank you, Albrecht the Fox, for encouraging me to get right on that and do that. Anyway, that is what I have been mediaing for the past few weeks.
Past 2 weeks. Wow. All right. Rain and Ziggy, what have you guys been up to on the media front?
Well, we haven't been watching a lot because Ziggy's been working a lot lately, and we've also been hanging out the 3 times we've been hanging out with the furries that came down here to hike Torres del Paine. So shout out to those guys if they're listening. We enjoyed having you guys down here a lot. But I did manage to finish Starfleet Academy. I thought that the ending was really good. It wrapped up and debunked a lot of the BS crap that the haters have been pushing on social media.
Oh, good. I haven't seen the new episode yet, so.
Okay. They do get out of the whole like children drama thing that they did at the very beginning.
Well, that's still a part of it. I mean, because this is essentially high school college for Starfleet Academy type people, but they debunked a lot of the stuff that they were saying. Oh, they're ruining it because now they're making Star Trek, the villains and the whole thing, and that because the Omega molecule thing, that they wrapped up a lot of the stuff that people were hating on, even though they had no idea where where this was going, because this whole thing was shot before anybody started seeing the first episode, so it was already shot and edited, and the stories were already done. So people were not watching through the whole thing and they immediately just jumping on. Well, they brought the Omega, Starfleet's using the Omega molecule, and it was a synthetic version of the Omega molecule.
Well, this can't be Hurley's dream because
because they weren't using it for a weapon. Apparently, they were using it to try and bring free energy to a lot of the planets that in the Federation that don't have proper power, distribution and stuff like that. So it ended up being a much better ending than I was even hoping for. I mean, I really like the series, and I'm looking forward to season 2. and hoping that the new overlords at Paramount decide to continue
I
the series at
see.
least. Yeah, and
Well, of
at
course,
least let
they're
it.
not shooting anything right now. So
No, there's absolutely no Star Trek. This is the first time in I think they said like 10 years that there have
Oh
been
my.
no active Star Trek projects in shooting.
It's like a Weird Al thing.
Yeah, they're all right now wrapped up, and there's kind of some fear amongst the Star Trek fandom that Paramount may stop doing any Star Trek stuff for a while.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, so the how Strange New Worlds does and how the season 2 of Academy does, I think may color their decisions on whether or not to continue producing Star Trek series.
You know what I think would be very cool and would be like very well received would be like Star Trek, but like with Bambi and Thumper and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they've thought of that, but
okay.
The Disney Bambi is a Disney product, so yeah, it's kind of hard for them to do that.
You'd have to have a Star Wars Bambi crossover, Taebyn.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yeah, 'cause
I
that's
would do that
Disney.
too. That would be fine.
Yeah.
I could deal with that. Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I think about that. Also, we've been watching the new Scrubs series. It's really good. What do you think, Ziggy?
wait a minute,
it
there's a
was
new
way
Scrub
better than-
series.
Yes,
Yes.
with the original cast. In
That's
fact,
it.
the original hospital that they filmed in was an actual abandoned hospital, and of course that's been torn down since Scrubs, the original series, wrapped.
Oh, that
Yeah.
hurts so much.
Yeah, and so they found a warehouse in Canada, and they basically recreated Sacred Heart in this warehouse, and it's
Wow.
actually better than the original was, because like one of the things Zach Braff was saying is that the little gift shop in the original was
Yeah.
so small that they couldn't really shoot but from one angle in there,
Ah,
but they actually kind of grew it out just enough so that they could shoot from multiple angles in the gift shop. So that's they put some thought into it to making it look as close to possible as they could, and it's like you couldn't tell the difference if you
Huh.
weren't looking for some slight little things.
all right,
Zach
cool.
Braff said the first day he walked on the set and went into the cafeteria, he was like blown away. He's like, this is where I spent like 9 years of my life. And he's like, that was in LA, not here in Canada. It's
Yeah.
amazing that this looks identical to where I shot for 9 years. So yeah, it's really good. I'm not going to say it's a spoiler alert because probably most people listening here have seen it. Perry Cox ends up being the head of the hospital, and this new Scrub series takes place. He's getting to the point where he wants to retire, and so he hands it over to the only person he feels comfortable handing it over to, and that's of course JD, who's played by Zach Braff. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
fantastic. It still makes you cry in certain spots. They haven't lost a beat at all. I mean, all the original characters that are alive are back,
Yeah.
and the ones that were in the show that haven't showed up yet in the series are scheduled for guest appearances in the show. So if you
Good.
love Scrubs, this is a love letter to all the Scrubs fans, and it's
Aw.
just fantastic. It's really good.
Yeah, but what it really hurts was when they said, "We've been friends for how long? 25 years."
Yeah.
Oh, my
Mhm.
knees hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to believe it's been that long. That,
Yeah.
but
it's
amazing.
But
Scrubs
great.
was good, but that they started. That a series goes downhill. They go
Yeah.
downhill when they first, like in general, when they introduce a musical episode. And Scrubs did that, and they had their musical episode, and me and Honey were like, okay, so this is the point at which Scrub has just gone downhill.
Actually, I loved the musical episode.
Me
I'm not a
too.
big
I
musical
love
fan.
it.
They had a good reason for it, and so it wasn't just, oh, let's do a musical episode to do a musical episode. I thought it was really well thought out, and it wasn't
Man love,
yeah, no, it's guy love between two guys.
guy
Yes.
love.
Yes,
Jeez.
it's a
Okay.
fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite episodes, and it really didn't start getting bad till season 9. The last season when they
Oh.
brought in new students.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Oh, like
yeah, it was
Keith?
bad. Yeah, they just brought in students that made no sense. They weren't good fits for the crew. In this new one, a new series of students is actually starting when JD comes for a visit. the students are so good. You can see a little bit of each of the original students in these students that have come along. There's always, there's a lot of them that look exactly like they could be the kids of the originals. So it's really fun.
Okay.
They fixed the formula that they messed up in season 9. The new students coming in, they're different enough to be like, oh, I like this one, but not so different that you're thinking, what are they trying to do here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it still follows the good, the good seasons 1 through 8 chemistry that they established during the first 8 seasons. Yeah, I love it. So Ziggy, what have you been up to?
Oh, just playing the All for 90 new season, new characters. They're trying to merge the OG with the new together, and so it's been good in that way. But there's a lot of controversy now with the prices of the V-Bucks. They laying off staff. They're cutting off 3 different game modes. So yeah, quite mixed feelings.
TikTok, how about
Mhm.
you? What have you been up to media-wise?
Well, we got the usual Jeopardy and RuPaul, also a bunch of No Reservations episodes. I'd say that Bourdain has a little more in-depth social commentary on his later Parts Unknown show, but the extra saltiness of No Reservations is a good bit more fun. So I do recommend that one.
All right. Cool. Cheetaro, how about you?
Well, as much as I've been busy with Furlandia, my partner Pink Lemonade has made me take several breaks by watching a few things. We continued watching the anime, The Daily Life of the Immortal King. Seeing as this is a continuing anime, we've caught up to the current episode that's dubbed in English anyways.
Yes.
There are 3 episodes that are not in English. That are still in the original Chinese, believe it or not, because this is a Chinese anime.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Chinese anime. And so it's ironic because they actually have it dubbed in Hindi, which is weird.
Huh.
Before English, which is ironic. But, there's more of them than us. So
I'm wondering if they outsourced the animation to India, because I know India's got some animation studios coming up now, and so that may be why they dubbed it
Went
out.
Hindi.
That'd be
Yeah.
worth looking into.
That totally makes sense. I'll have to look
Mhm.
into that to see for sure. But it's getting really good now, especially now that the main character has a sister who is also just as powerful as him. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Seeing as Pink Lemonade has never seen it, we watched the 2000 movie Castaway with Tom Hanks.
Wilson.
Right?
Yes.
I will say that it still makes me think the movie ended too soon. I think the package that he delivers at the end of the movie should have been opened, as well as Chuck, Tom Hanks, should have followed that woman back to her place, because she was totally hitting on him,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he did absolutely nothing about it. It was just kind of silly.
Well, it was
Yeah.
in the package.
Yes.
Probably something to help save his life.
satellite
on
radio,
the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a GPS and a satellite phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just frustrating, every time I watch that movie, it just frustrates me, but there it is.
Mhm.
We also watched the live action movie from 2025, How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I know that it was talked about before on the show, but
Yeah.
I wanted to see it, and it was actually amazing. Although I will say it was different from the animated version, because Hiccup did not have his prosthetic leg until the end of the movie, which was kind of like, wait, what?
Did you find the musical scenes as unsettling as Skuru did?
I'm going to say no, I did not, because I kind of liked that, to be honest. I'm kind of weird because I'm like you. I like musicals to a small degree, and whenever somebody throws a musical in there, it's like it's kind of fun and exciting. It just kind of adds something.
Skuru's big thing was like the when they first fly, when him and Toothless still fly, they fly for the first time. The thing that upset him most was that they didn't time the music the way the animation did, because the way the animation timed it, it was so like each high and low was on the correct beat of where they were flying, and he didn't feel like they did a good job in that part, and he felt like that was like one of the key moments of character development that was missed out with, because the music was just wrong. It wasn't hitting right.
I guess while I was watching it, I wasn't really paying attention to that specifically because I was more along the lines of watching and paying attention to things like what was right and wrong with the movie, so to
Mm,
speak.
okay.
And so I was looking at it from a different perspective. I might have to
Ah,
take a look
okay.
at that and watch
Yeah,
it over
watch
again to
that one
see. But
scene again and see what
yeah,
you think, because
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I do like how in the movie they actually, if you ever watched any of the animated stuff for How to Train Your Dragon, I love how they paired all of the different characters with the correct dragons that was in the
hmm
series. That was kind of fun to see that happen and stuff, and so it was rather interesting. I did like it. So, but I will
Yeah.
have to go back and take a rewatch, so to speak. The We also watched a 2001 movie called The Black Phone, and the ironic part
Oh,
is about this movie, and this is going to be kind of a strange segue, but what was interesting that the person that played Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon, Mason Thames, was the person in The Black Phone as the kid who gets abducted.
yeah.
He was
I
just
couldn't
younger.
watch that movie. I couldn't watch it. It was a little bit too much for me. I don't like child abduction stuff. That creeps me
Yeah,
out.
it was interesting in the aspect, because you didn't really understand what was going on in the beginning, and then when he finally gets abducted and stuff like that, because this is also set in like 1978, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's kind of interesting that a movie is set in the past, so to speak. But when this kid is taken and he's in there, and he like stares at this phone that's in there, and the guy goes, well, that phone doesn't work, it hasn't worked for years. And then all of a sudden he's like sitting there and the phone rings, and it's like, what the world, but then he ends up talking to the kids that were abducted in the past and stuff, and figuring out how to escape. I mean, I
Mhm.
will say, as strange as a movie as it was, because I thinking about the fact of kids getting abducted and things like that, overall, when you look at the movie as a whole, it actually did a pretty good job in terms of trying to show that don't be don't be that victim and just allow that person to bully you, so to speak, and try to
Yeah.
do something to escape. So I guess
Yeah.
that's kind of what I took out of that movie, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay.
you know um, but we did finally get to watch, because I know we started watching Peacemaker at our last episode. We finally got to watch
hmm
season 2.
Okay.
It has some really interesting scenes, and it focuses on multiple universes.
hmm
Oh, okay.
There's an interesting scene where John Cena, who plays Peacemaker, ends up finding himself in another dimension, and he ends up almost getting killed by this guy, but instead he ends up killing himself from the other dimension and
Oh, wow.
stuff. And so
Okay.
it's rather funny, because there's this whole entire thing where he's wrapping him up into a what do you call it, a tarp,
Mhm.
and trying to shove him into this space, and the body keeps rolling out, and pushing it back, and the body rolls out, and it's like really funny how he's trying to do that and stuff. It's funny how he ends up getting rid of the body, but I won't say how he did. But I will say, this is definitely worth a watch if you're a DC comic fan, because there's a lot of interesting moments when Peacemaker like really disses on some of the DC characters, specifically
Yeah.
like when he talks about Aquaman, or he talks about the Flash, or he talks about Green Lantern and stuff like that. It's rather hilarious. But I will say, as a caveat, be careful, because the second season has quite a bit of nudity.
Ooh.
Mm.
Okay. Do we get to see John
Yeah,
Cena
and
naked?
you get to see his butt,
Okay.
Ooh, that's worth it.
but
I'm watching.
there is lots of scenes where you get to see full on female and male nudity.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So there's
Okay.
lots of it. So
I'll close my
specifically
eyes
this
during
one,
the female nudity.
yeah,
Out of respect.
there's one whole episode where he's having this party in his house, and
There you
that's
go.
kind of, yeah,
Okay.
that's the kind of
Mhm.
party he's having in this house. So
Okay.
so yeah, so just beware, if you watch Peacemaker, there is nudity, more so in the second
Peacemaker's-
season than the first.
Okay.
Peacemaker's a good party maker then. is what you're saying.
Apparently.
I would say yes. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
there's several times where he hits on the pot pipe and the bong, and he does do a couple of lines of cocaine. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a very interesting.
So
thing.
definitely not a G-rated thing. So
No,
Taebyn
this is
can't watch.
definitely an R-rated movie. So sorry, Taebyn, or TV series. You can't watch this. Sorry, Taebyn.
I would say it's probably
Oh.
more NC-17 than R.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So,
But yeah.
all right.
But that's what we have been mediating.
That takes us up to our furry news with TikTok, our intrepid news reporter. Take it away, TikTok.
Well, let's see. I got 2 scoops for you furs, or should I say 2 suits?
Oh
So
my.
first up is that Conference Zero T-shirt being offered on eBay. I mentioned that a little while
Yeah.
back.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Yep, it's still there and still 16 large.
Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
not talking about the shirt size.
Yeah, that would be like a lot of crispy chicken and nummy tots to fit into
Yeah,
that.
fill it
fill
out.
that.
That
But
would be
yes,
like a Sasquatch size.
but yeah,
Don't
no,
believe it's Sasquatch.
it's still $16,000. We're being offered for $16,000. Friend of BFFT Patch O Fur posted an article, an interview with the seller, who goes by Akuma Skill. It's a bit unclear from the article if Akuma Skill is in the fandom, but he does at least like furry art. He's a
Okay.
collector in general and bought the shirt and a lot with other furry art t-shirts from a flea market vendor.
Wow.
Yeah. Later on, he found the shirts were in fact vintage, and noticed the date on the Conference Zero shirts in 1989. He did some research, found the shirt seemed authentic, and with the art having been drawn by the OG furry artist Steve Martin, not the comic.
Okay.
Darn.
Akuma Skill says he doesn't care if the shirt sells or not, although he hopes that if a furry museum ever happens, he'd like to see the shirt, displayed there. Patch also did some follow-up authentication with the archivist of Conference, who did indeed verify the shirt, and they used old VHS footage that showed attendees wearing the shirt.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
VHS footage. Ooh.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's how a lot of props are actually found. Like Adam Savage goes searching for some original props and stuff, and the way they tell is they go back and through, and sometimes you have to go back to some VHS movies to find these these little hints that the prop you're looking at is actually the prop. So yeah, good on them for doing the research.
Yeah, very cool. So next up is an official licensed Primogen head crafted by
Ooh.
Forbidden Studios, recently sold at auction for, drumroll, $25,000.
Good Lord.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh my cow.
Yes.
The price went into the stratosphere due to a bidding war between 3 bidders, with 2 bidders duking it out
Wow.
until the end.
And they were very bitter about it. Ha ha.
Well, at least the one
Oh
that,
my cow.
at least the ones that lost.
Yes.
Yeah, the one that won is out 25 grand, but apparently he could afford it. But what is a Primogen, you might ask?
I might ask that question. Yes.
Yes, the
Yes, I was going to ask because I've forgotten.
Yeah, the Primogens are the sci-fi cyborg furry raptors conceived around 2015 by Malice Rizu, who now goes by Cool Koinu. They're highly advanced and largely cybernetic, designed for complex tactical space missions.
Okay.
Koinu invented the art and lore behind the Primogens and wanted to keep the concept for herself and her partner, along with a few select friends. So the Primogens were presented as a closed species.
Right. I knew they
Dun,
were
dun,
close,
dun.
but I couldn't remember the difference.
Yes. So, in little summary, the deal with a closed species is that you're not supposed to have a character based on that species without permission or a license from the original creator. But it's really more of a good faith thing, though. There's no actual enforceable copyright law that prevents you, but it mostly applies to having something professionally made As professional artisans, they make art to keep the lights on and food on the table, and they
Right.
don't want to piss off their fellow artists or damage their reputation by taking commissions for unlicensed closed species.
Right.
But if you decide to make something on your own, you can. It's just that your
Mhm.
character won't be, quote unquote, official.
Right.
Anyway, back to the primogens. A very limited number of official licensed ones have been offered at auction in the past, although they didn't get nearly as expensive. It's been some time since there's been a new one made available, so you could say there was some excitement, at least for those with incredibly disposable incomes.
Mhm.
But due to the popularity of primogens, around 2017, Koinu invented the protogens, working them
Ah.
into the lore
Mhm.
as a precursor prototype of the primogen.
Aha.
However, the protogens were presented as an open species with some design guidelines. Their bodies are more organic and derived from a modified furry creature. Now, the interesting thing to me is that with the Proots being open, their lore, backgrounds, and designs have evolved much more, well, organically. So you
Right.
have thousands of Protogens fans contributing to the community, whereas the Primogens are just kind of stuck in stasis
Right, because
limbo.
they're closed, so nobody can adjust it except for the original author
Yeah,
or the
or
original creator. Yeah.
yeah, or the lore or anything. But
Yeah.
that's the way she wanted it. So I mean, it's her thing.
I
But
mean,
Mhm.
that's up to her. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But so with that in mind, if you have the resources to buy a licensed Primogen, hey, have fun. But since the Protogens are taking their own destiny into their fluffy cybernetic paws, who knows what the fluffy space toasters will be in the future.
Yeah.
Yay!
Nice.
And that's the news
Nice.
for this week.
All
Who
right.
knows
So,
indeed?
yeah. So, Chitaro, what have you got for
Yes.
us this time? It looks like a really good movie.
Yeah, yeah. This time I actually did a review of a movie that is in, and I'm going to say this in all the best respect, real theaters, because, most movies are streaming nowadays that I've been watching, but this one's actually in theaters currently. And it's the 2026 movie Hoppers. Now, when I first heard about this movie, my brain immediately thought, this is before I even saw the trailer, my brain immediately thought, oh my God, this is coming out for Easter. It has nothing
Yeah,
to
that's what I
do
thought
with
too.
Easter. This has nothing to do
Yeah.
with Easter. So this movie, it starts out with this young girl. Her name is Mabel. She loves animals and she loves the environment. And you see her in the very beginning of this film stealing all of the animals from the elementary school classes, like a turtle and things of that nature. Turtle, hamster, blah, blah, blah. And she ends up getting chased around the school and she gets in trouble. And, her mom comes and picks her up and she says, okay, you know better than this. I've talked to you about this before. So she takes her to the place where she's going to get punished. And it is where her grandmother is, right? So she gets with the grandmother and the grandmother says, oh, I see what you need. So she takes the child off to to nature, sits her on a rock and says, okay, be quiet and you'll be able to see nature. And it's like really awesome because she, all the animals come out and she's happy and stuff. And she ends up befriending her grandmother in such a way that she ends up keep staying with her grandmother and living with her grandmother until unfortunately her grandmother passes away. And then, but she continues on the life of trying to save the animals and nature, so to speak, specifically this glade where her grandmother and her sat and watched all the animals. Well, then you realize what's going on is there's this mayor of, and I'm sorry, this is totally true, the mayor of Beaverton.
I knew they seemed
So
shady.
I know, right?
That's
This
why I
mayor,
left.
his name is Jerry. He wants to build this highway, this automobile highway. So he does everything he can to try to make all the animals be removed from this glade. And of course, Mabel finds out, and she's like so upset about this, and stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to try to do what I can to save this glade. Well, she was sitting there one night trying to see if she could get an animal, specifically a beaver, to come back to the glade, because beavers are keystone animals for starting other species to come, right?
Of course.
So
yes.
she's sitting there waiting for this beaver, put food out for it and put nature sounds and the whole thing on her phone. And all of a sudden she sees this little thing come across, and it's a beaver, and it comes down and it sniffs the food and it walks around, and then all of a sudden it runs away, and she goes, "Oh no, don't run away, little beaver." So she runs past after this beaver, and this beaver ends up getting absconded by a van that ends up being taken to the Beaverton University, where she ends up finding out that there is this professor who created a animatronic beaver to interact with the animals, to be able to understand what's going on with the animals. And so, of course, when she finds this out, she says, "Oh, I know the perfect way to be able to help these animals." And she ends up becoming this animatronic beaver, and she ends up going back to the glade and befriends the whole entire animal kingdom, and she becomes
sort of like Avatar with the
yeah, it is kind of like Avatar to a thing, because
with animals.
Hence why, but they call it hoppers, because you're hopping into this animal with your brain, and your brain is hopping into this animal. So
a lot like
it's
Avatar,
very much like Avatar. Yeah.
Okay,
and because
cool.
the interesting part too is that these people, when they're hopping into these animals, they're literally in this chair, and it reminds me of those old hair dryers that used to go over people's heads completely, and they kind of go over there and they kind of like sit there, and all of a sudden it's like poof, they're over into the other into the animal, and then the animal scurries off. But it was rather interesting, because the whole entire message of this film has to do with animal interactions, ecology, and interacting and making sure about the environment and being safe and things of that nature. There were parts of this movie that I actually cried in, because it was that good, to be honest.
Okay.
The movie itself is wonderfully animated. It does have some pretty good background music and stuff, but it's not really the focus of the movie by any means whatsoever. But there are some good pieces of music that get thrown into the fray. There's a few good actors that are actually in this. Like the mayor is played by John Hamm. The doctor is actually Kathy Najimy. If you recognize that name, she was Peggy Hill on King of the Hill.
She's so good.
And Bobby Moynihan, who is somebody who is a major person from Saturday Night Live, did the voice of one of the animal beavers, and it was Piper Curda. I'm not familiar with her personally, but she did the voice of Mabel, and they did a great job of interacting her with all of this stuff. The connection that she ended up making with all of these animals was like that's what kind of got me in the aspect, because she befriends all of these animals, and then something happens, and like I said, I'm not going to go through and say what it all happened, because that would wreck the movie. But I would say that this deserves my highest honors of chirps of 5 stars. Or 5 chirps. 5 chirps, because this had an excellent message of making sure that, if you care about the environment, you should get involved in making sure you save the environment.
Definitely.
So it was worthy. It's worthy of going and checking out. If you haven't, check it out. If you want to wait until it comes to streaming, it is a Disney Pixar movie.
Okay.
So, and the ironic part is, as you were talking about earlier about Star Trek things, in the beginning of the movies, for all of the pre-coming sequels or movies and stuff, there's a movie that is coming out from Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yes, and Grogu, yes. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. It looks good.
It's coming out on May 22nd. So unfortunately, I won't be able to see it on theaters the day it comes out, because there's something more important that's happening that day.
And I can't believe they missed the May 4th.
I know, right?
For that, like
that's what we both.
That would be
that's what Pink
perfect.
Lemonade and I said. That would have been perfect
Yeah.
for May the 4th. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but yeah. So everybody, go out to your theater right now. Support this movie because it is worth the watch. You know, and stuff like that. So hoppers.
All right. Well, that takes us up to our upcoming events.
Oh.
Okay, April 10th through the
Wow.
12th in Ham, Germany is 2 Dance 2026. That's
Ham's Harmony Hammer.
the same weekend in Spencer, Tennessee is Woods Flock 2026.
I love you, Bearly.
Also that same weekend in Dublin, Ireland, and thank you to whoever put the pronunciation there for me, is An Uvi 2026. That's Gaelic for Animation Con, I guess.
Animal.
And then Furry Down Under 2026 is taking place in Surfers Paradise, Queensland, Australia, April 17th through the 19th. Forget About It is taking place in New Jersey, April 23rd through the 26th. That same weekend in Wilburton, Oklahoma is Wild Nights 2026. Also in Barlow, Netherlands, April 24th through the 27th is Furry Weekend Holland. Somerset, New Jersey is hosting The Bigger One 2026, April 25th through the 26th.
Ooh.
Kraz 2026 is
Kraz.
taking place April 29th through May 3rd in Boskovice, Czech, Poland.
Oh, that's why I haven't heard of it, because it's like not anywhere near me.
Not anywhere near you, yes.
It's a little
Ibercon
far for you, pup.
2026 is taking place in Madrid, Spain, April 30th through May 3rd. Volley Weekend takes place in Decentis, Münster, Switzerland, April 30th through
You
May
would
3rd.
think that would be taking place like around, like next to FC, because the volley and everything.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? It's like,
But
okay,
apparently not.
yeah. April 30th through May 3rd in Souk, British Columbia, Canada is Camp Fuzz 2026. Dosman, Wisconsin is hosting It's Rough Out 2026,
Oh,
May 1
cute.
through
Oh,
3rd.
I like that.
The High Furry is taking
Hi.
place in
Hi.
Foshan, China, May 1st through the 4th.
That's fun.
Furry Weekend Atlanta is taking place May 7th through the 10th in Atlanta, Georgia. And that same weekend, if you can't be in Atlanta, you can be in Metz, France for Les Furfurus.
Les Furfurus.
Furfurus. And those are the upcoming events through the middle of May.
Head to Heart with Kanzo Ame strives to be a show to help young minds navigate their feelings in a healthy way and to help families support healthy emotional growth, not just in the kids, but the parents as well. Kanzo Ame likes to help families with kids like her understand neurodivergent communication techniques and demonstrate ways for young viewers to express their emotions, as well as provide tips to families on supporting each other through those emotions. Because Kanzo and I truly believe that with kindness and understanding, we can make the world a better place. Click the link to help support the show becoming a reality.
Welcome to BFFT Labs, where we make the past feel like the future. What? I don't know. The Suits Incorporate made that up. Anyway, as we look forward to Season 7 of BFFT, we are trying to come up with fresh new segments for your entertainment and, well, for our silliness. To that end, each episode from now until Season 7 premiere, we will try out one of our new ideas for segments to see how they work and how you, our listeners, feel about it. So please feel free to let us know what you think by email or telegram or on the comments section on Buzzsprout. So, on to this episode's new segment test. This was conceived of by Rain Raccoon. So, Rain, it's all yours.
Okay, so this is a game I made up called Rain's Real or Ridiculous. It's really simple. I'll give you 2 factoids. One is real and one is ridiculous. And you furs here in the studio have to figure out which one is real and which one is not real. Okay, so we're going to start out here.
Taebyn is not real.
Yes, the first one. The first one is, in the 1740s, Roman Catholics formed a secret society dubbed the Order of the Pug. Members had to sport dog collars and scratch at the door. Okay, so the next one is penguins have wavy feathers that produce a similar effect when moving through water as golf ball dimples do in the air.
I like the idea of the first one, so I'm going to say the first one is true. Even though the second
Okay,
one is
what do you
probably the
guys-
true one, because that sounds like a sciencey thing. But I still like the first one better, so I'm going to go with the first one.
Penguin.
What say you, TikTok?
Penguin.
Okay.
I'd say that's true.
And what about you, Cheetaro?
Well, as a fellow person who volunteers at the Oregon Zoo,
Oh.
I say it's the penguin.
Okay,
Yeah,
Bearly?
I knew it. I still go with the doggy thing.
I'm gonna go with the doggy thing too, because Catholics, why not?
Are weird.
Why
Yeah,
not?
and
Well, there you- sure,
Last
there you
but absolutely not least is my hubby Ziggy. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going for the Order of the Pug. That must be real. Has to be real.
go. Yay.
Well, yes, anybody who knows me would know that I would pick the pug one as the absolutely real one. So yes, it is true that in the
Yay.
1740s, Roman Catholics formed a secret society dubbed the Order of the Pug. And members did have to wear collars, and to be let in, you had to scratch at the door.
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
I figured the
That was-
collars were plausible,
yeah.
but the scratching was.
No, that's
Yeah,
how
it
they
just seems a
knew
little
if
bit,
it was a real member coming to the door. I actually looked up a little further into it. It
Oh.
was because a lot of the Catholic secret societies were not approved of by the papacy. So
Oh,
So is that
there are
like-
a lot of a lot of secret societies that the Catholics invented, and they had to be very careful because you could be called a heretic and booted from the church
And
and
get toasty.
worse much.
Yes.
Yes.
So do we
excommunicated.
think that that's
Yeah.
maybe part of where human pups came from?
It's a good
It's a good
possibility.
possibility.
It's definitely
Yeah.
Sounds,
I mean,
sounds very much like it.
yes,
Part of it
yes.
somehow, anyway.
I don't know if they had to
Yeah.
sniff each other's behinds once they entered to greet each other, but it's definitely an interesting story, and yeah, there are a lot of really interesting stories relating to secret Catholic societies.
well, interesting. Was that the only one you have, or do you have another one?
That's it. I
That's
just
just one, okay.
wanted to make it a quick little thing so that we could
Okay.
Try, see if
entertain
people like the
ourselves, but
idea.
not
Yeah.
spend
Okay.
all episode discussing.
Okay, I'm seeing notes going on in
Yeah.
real time here.
Taebyn
so-
made me
I
do
know,
this. Hold
right?
on, I've got to find the joke because I've forgotten it. I think it was a cartoon, actually.
No, it was.
No. I know what cartoon he's talking about. I know what he's talking about.
yeah.
There was
the
a
one
man
with
that
where the
went
There-
to-
dog gets pulled over.
no, there was a
No,
man
no,
that
no,
went
no.
up to
Oh.
the
Barely
farmer.
knows, barely knows.
Man went up
Oh,
to a
okay.
farmer and says, "I don't like the smell emanating from this cow." And the farmer says, "What? You don't like our dairy
Oh.
air?" Yes.
Okay, yes. I've got you now.
We have to blame
Oh.
Tatsu
I thought
for
it was
that.
the dog joke where the cop dog pulls the other dog over in the for speeding and asks to see some ID, and the dog puts his butt up to the window.
Oh, that's cute
No.
too.
I thought it was that one.
That's cute.
I
too.
posted that one in there too, though.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yes. Mhm.
We do literally.
We
All
do.
you furs, we have listeners all over the world. Not too many, but we do. We do.
Yes. Mhm. Yay. Mm. Yay.
6.
Bubbly shit. Hello. Well, I'm wondering. You want the math now?
He wants it now.
Okay.
Now.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but I will do my best. Okay. Okay, well, so as I mentioned earlier in the show last time, that is Season 6, Episode 20, in the math section I talked about Tree of Three, and in Season 6, Episode 16, I talked about Graham's number, which are two unimaginably, literally so huge numbers. You first might want to go back to those episodes and listen to me talk about them, either after you listen to me talk about this or before, I don't know, whatever, but because they're actually really interesting to think about and everything. I remember the last episode when I was talking about Tree of Three, when trying to explain how big Tree of Three actually is, at one point, Bearly totally had a holy cow moment when he realized how insanely huge the number is. Like, he was just listening, and then all of a sudden, I saw his face, and he even made a sound when he realized, oh my cow, and he totally had a holy cow moment. Anyway, so all you furs should listen to this. So anyway, last time, after I got done talking about it, Bearly asked what these numbers, these huge numbers, were used for. And indeed, these are not just some huge numbers as someone said, oh, these exist, but they do have an actual purpose. And so I did some, as I mentioned at the start of the episode, I did some research to find out what these are actually more used for, and actually, or where do they come from. And they're actually kind of fun to think about. I have some things to say about that. So here we go. So as I mentioned in Season 3, Episode 16, I talked about this thing called Graham's number. And last time I talked about this thing called Tree of Three. So let's start with Graham's number. There's a branch of mathematics that's called Ramsey theory. And this branch of math studies properties and patterns in large mathematical structures. For example, it typically asks questions like, how big must some structure be to guarantee that a particular property holds? Now, for example, so I'm going to build up an example, and I'll get to Graham's number and everything, but so this won't be Graham's number yet, but I want to give you an example. And it's just fun to think about, too. The definition of a complete graph of order n. This is a graph, so just think a whole bunch of lines connected to nodes, that is circles. So just think of lines connected to circles. And a complete graph of order n is a graph with n nodes where every pair of nodes is connected with a line. For example, a complete graph of order 3 is just a triangle. You've got 3 nodes and they're all connected with a line. So, okay, that's a triangle. A complete graph of order 4 is a square with both of the diagonals connected. So just think of a square where you've got circles on each of the 4 corners. You've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines connecting all of the corners. So you've got a square with diagonals. Okay, so that's, and so on. So you can imagine a complete graph of order 5 is, well, you've got a pentagon, a 5-sided thing, and all the things are connected inside. You've got all these lines. Okay, great. Now, let's go back to a complete graph of order 3. So a triangle. So take a triangle, and you could imagine you could color each of the 3 sides either red or blue. And so you've got you've got a bunch of possibilities there. You could color this side blue and the other color red and red. You know, you've got a bunch of possibilities. We can ask the question, take a complete graph of order 4. So remember, that's a square where you have both the diagonals connected to. Yeah, Bearly's drawing. So all you first can't see it, but Bearly's drawing it in the air. Exactly, yes. Take that graph of order 4. Does it contain is it possible to contain, does it always contain a completely red triangle or a blue triangle? And by the way, so notice those diagonals, they of course intersect in the middle, and you've got like little smaller triangles. That doesn't count. We want triangles that are just formed by the edges of the square or by the corners of the square. It's not hard to actually it's fun to just try and draw pictures, and you draw pictures. It's not hard to draw a picture of such a thing that does not contain a triangle that only has red or blue, just one of the colors. Of course, you can draw such a thing that has a triangle of only red edges, but not always. It's possible to draw some. Now, is that making any sense so far?
Sort of, yes.
Sure, why not?
So, okay, but the point is here, we have this thing called a complete graph of 4 edges. Bearly drew it. It's that thing. And we want to know, does it contain a triangle that is only have blue edges? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But what about a complete graph of order 5? So you draw a pentagon with all these lines, is it? are we guaranteed that it contains a triangle of only blue sides in it? Well, you can draw little pictures, and it's fun to draw the little pictures. It turns out the answer is not always. So the question Ramsey theory would ask is, how large must N be? How many little nodes do you have to have so that you're sure that it contains a blue triangle or a red triangle? We've talked about it's 4 or 5, we're not guaranteed. So how large do we have to be? It turns out that the answer is actually 6.
Oh.
So it doesn't take, it's not, you can draw a lot of pictures and convince yourself that, okay, well, if I have 6 nodes, I have to have a triangle of the same color in it. Okay, now as a side note, this is an interesting equivalent statement that for some persons might help with the brain activity a little bit. This statement that you need 6, this is equivalent to the statement that at any party that has at least 6 people, there are 3 people who are either mutual acquaintances, that is, each one knows the other 2, or mutual strangers. And so this kind of the little graph thing is just a kind of nice little mathematical way to actually draw those relationships and stuff. So it has a nice little equivalent way of formulating it. Okay. So there's all of this. Now, Graham's number, which was defined and published in a paper in 1971, so relatively recently, actually, has to do with a similar construction, but a more general question about an n-dimensional cube instead of a 2-dimensional graph. So I won't go into all that, but basically we're talking about squares, but in higher dimensions, but doing the same sort of thing, trying to color stuff and everything. So it turns out that Graham's number, this big, huge, immense number that I talked about in season 6, episode 16, you can go back and listen to talk about it again. It was proved to be an upper bound to the number. So it's this really huge number. The exact answer to the question is not that, but the point is that finally getting to Bearly's question about what's this used for, this Graham's number says that it proves that there is an answer to this general question about n-dimensional cubes and stuff. Now, the thing is, sometimes in math and science, we just care that an answer exists, even if it's impossible to actually work with that thing. Because after all, if a solution doesn't even exist, don't go looking for it and trying to do anything with it. So that's Graham's number. Now, I won't say as much about tree of n. If any of you first listened to me talk about this number, tree of n, from last time, it's even bigger than Graham's number. It's huge. It's even unfathomably huger than Graham's number. But it also has to do with the sequence of graphs that you make a bunch of graphs in a certain way, and these graphs are called trees, and that's why this sequence is called tree of m, blah, blah, blah. So as I said, I won't go into details of how these particular graphs are made, but you form these fun graphs and draw little pictures that adhere to certain rules. And this number tree of n is essentially the number of trees that satisfy all these rules. And as I talked about last time, tree of 1, the first number of the sequence is 1. Then tree of 2, the next number of the sequence is 3. But then all of a sudden, if you try and compute and draw the trees that give you the answer to tree of 3, you just keep drawing and drawing and drawing, and it seems like it's infinite, that there's no answer to this question. And where the question is, how many trees are there? But tree of 3 has been proven to be a finite number, and so then this is another example of proving that an answer exists to a seemingly non-answerable question. And so that's very fun and interesting to draw these things and find out that even though these numbers are immensely huge and you can't even work with them, they do give us good, solid information about answers to problems. So if any fur is out there that thinks all these ideas are interesting, you might be interested in graph theory, combinatorics, or Ramsey theory. So go out and check that out. And that is my math for this week.
Well, I'm interested in Gordon Ramsay theory, but that's just because I'm hungry.
That sounds more edible.
All right.
It is more
It's
edible.
delicious.
It's
Delicious
more
and
easily
succulent.
defined and
A
and
lot more
digested.
easily defined.
and digested.
I
Easy to
bet-
swallow.
Yes.
I bet it's easier to devour.
Yes.
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 Nom
Indeed.
nom 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 nom.
All right. Well, that takes us up to our shameless plugs. And I want to plug Royal Highness, the podcast I produce with my sister and her friend. They enhance with cannabis products. Then they talk about a show they watched while enhanced. Currently, they are watching The Last Kingdom on Netflix, but recently watched the Game of Thrones series, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Last night, we recorded an episode, and Spencer was out sick, so I had to sit in the host chair, which...
no.
So the episode's not as funny as it normally is, but it's okay.
What?
Yes,
You there,
Spencer
Bear?
is-
No,
I know,
see,
yeah.
I do not.
Oh
So
my
now
gosh,
all you
yeah.
furs, your homework now is all you furs have to listen to this episode
Yeah.
and let us know how extremely, even maybe more funny this episode was with Bearly.
Maybe.
It is hard to beat Spencer though, because Spencer is so quick with the different accents.
Oh,
and
he's so
different
quick with his
jokes.
wit,
And,
yeah, so...
oh my gosh, his wit is like so staggering.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yes.
Will Wheaton.
Yes, Will Wheaton.
No.
As we start to look forward to season 7, as I mentioned before, we are soliciting from listeners the best and worst con roommate stories that we will start reading in season 7. There's a link to the submission form in the show notes and on Telegram. Please share with us. Rain, what have you got for us?
Well, of course, as usual, 3D Who, the monthly Doctor Who podcast, where Bearly, James and I discuss all things Doctor Who. The episode coming out at the end of March is all about River Song, and April's episode will be about Bad Wolf. I've also decided to jump on the bandwagon with the pup and start a link tree for all my socials and projects. So you can find it at linktr.ee/Rain Raccoon. I'm also available for freelance video or audio editing gigs, should anyone care to help me and Ziggy keep, food on the table.
Yes. Beat the weasel in the raccoon.
You can DM me on Telegram at Rain Raccoon if you have any projects that you need a little help editing with. So I would appreciate it.
He's
Rates
a
are
great
reasonable.
editor.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Ziggy, what about you?
Well, if you see a green-haired raccoon under the name of Mapacho Pistachio, please don't pew me. I need XP. I really want to unlock Bugs Bunny.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got Bugs Bunny in Fortnite now.
I need to reach
yep,
level
yep, yep.
85 to unlock it.
Oh no.
What's up, Doc?
Yes.
Okay.
You got the phrase.
TikTok, how about you?
Let's see. Come get some hugs and fun at Furlandia. And for Taebyn's edification, I actually rode a hog to New Hampshire.
You did?
Yes.
Wow.
What else would you ride to get ham?
I don't know. I don't know.
Of course not.
Did you find the little hairs on the back would poke you in the legs?
I wore protection.
Oh, good.
He
good.
wore
Oh,
assless
okay.
chaps. Of course, all chaps are assless. You know
True.
what you call a pair
True.
of chaps that are not assless, right?
Pants.
Leather
Pants. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Cheetaro, how about you? What do you got to plug?
Well, when this episode drops, there is literally 6 weeks till con.
Oh my cow.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's literally 2.5-ish weeks to be able to get your hotel room, to about 2.5 weeks to get yourself pre-registered, because pre-registration right now is $60, and that's through the end of this month. So, go to furlandia.org and get yourself registered.
And what's the price at the door if they don't pre-register?
The price at the door is $75.
Okay, so you say
Oh.
17.
Still
$15
very
by
reasonable.
pre-registering.
Yeah, $15
Which
by
you can then
pre-registering.
spend at the
yeah.
dealer's den later on.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can.
And and if you go to, speaking of Dealer's Den, if you go to our website at furlandia.org, then you will see a list of all of our vendors for the Dealer's Den and links to their prospective merchandise that's on their either link trees or Etsy or whatever it is that they have for their shop. We also have a list of all of our Artist Alley vendors and a map of what the Artist Alley and the Dealer's Den are going to look like. We do have a map of the convention space there.
I just saw that today.
And so, yeah, isn't it kind of exciting?
It
3
is.
whole
It's like
floors
it's there.
of
Oh my god! Oh
excitement.
my.
Yeah. So remember, we are going to attempt, and this is not a promise, but we are going to attempt to try to do early registration at the con for Thursday, late afternoon, evening. So if you do get to the hotel on Thursday, then you should be able to, that night, be able to register. But don't
Count on
hold
it.
me to that, because
We know
are
how
gonna try
Furlandia
our best.
registration goes in the past
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do want to remind everybody again, that it is till the end of this month, April 30th, at our hotel link. So get your hotel as well. But I'm also going to say that our two guests of honor, Kyle Gold, is going to be introducing a new book.
Nice.
I'm
Whoa.
not going to say anything
Very
more than
cool.
that.
Very cool.
Excellent.
And our other guest of honor, Jonah Scott, is
Oh,
going to have a panel.
My.
He's going to have a panel talking about B-Stars.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And I'm going to say that based on a podcast from someone else, and I can't remember the name of the
You
podcast.
listen to other
Um,
podcasts?
Shame.
No, it was shared to me
Oh.
a small portion of another person's podcast. They were talking to all of the B-Stars English voice actors, and they asked them, what conventions are you coming to? And Jonah Scott spoke up and said, I'm going to Furlandia this year.
Oh,
Well,
Sweet.
there
very
are
cool.
two people on the English cast of B-Stars that live locally in Portland.
Oh, wow.
And it is a possibility that Jonah Scott is going to find me and ask of me to allow them to come to our convention this year.
And of course,
If
you
that
will say
happens,
yes.
Of course I will say yes.
Yes.
And I will even say that all I'm going to say is that I don't remember the names of these people specifically, but I do know their characters, one of which is Louie, the other is
no
Juno.
Way. Oh my cow.
Yeah,
Really?
one is and the other is Juno.
Wow.
They both live in the Portland area.
I just saw
And
them
so-
in a scene today on the TV.
Yeah,
were
so
together.
it's a possibility that we could have more B-Stars voice actors
don't-
at our con.
I don't.
Wow.
I don't. I am having trouble staying on the ground because my tail is just kind of going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm not making any promises by any means,
No,
shape,
it's a
or form,
possibility.
but based on everything, there is the possibility. So if you guys really want to come to Furlandia and you really want to see, Jonah
Taebyn
Scott
fly
talk
around
about
the
B-Stars,
room.
and you want to see Taebyn flying around the room, then come to Furlandia, and we're gonna have. We have been totally blowing numbers out of the water for this year,
Wow.
and let's just say that this year will be the largest Furlandia ever. Ever to this date. We'll say it that way,
Yes.
because I have
'Cause
no idea
next
what's going
year-
to happen in the
date.
future.
Yes. To date, this is
Yeah,
the largest.
yeah.
Probably going to get bigger.
Yes.
Yeah. When somebody asked me last year, when do you think you guys will get to 10,000 attendees? And I said, well, probably within the next 10 years. And let's just say that might now be maybe in the next 3 or 4.
Oh.
Wow.
My
I don't know if there's a venue big
cow.
enough for 10,000. Well, we could actually go to the
Yeah.
Convention
center
center
itself.
across the
Right
way.
across the street
Yes.
is the convention center.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
the
kinda
That was
convention
your
center
plan all
is-
along, wasn't it, Cheetaro?
When I found this hotel, and I will admit that I was the one that found this hotel, the long-term plans of Furlandia did have the convention center in mind, yes.
Nice.
And the convention center is great. I've been to RCC several times, and it's a great convention center, and it's very well placed
It would
in the city.
provide a lot of room for me to fly around.
It would.
True.
Definitely would.
And higher ceilings, so you'd be
ceilings,
able
yeah.
to fly even higher.
I wouldn't keep hitting my little puppy head on the ceiling.
Nice.
For sure.
All right.
For sure.
Taebyn, what have you got to plug?
Okay, blah, blah, blah. Hi, I have a Linktree LT. Whoa, I don't know how to spell it. linktr.w/Taebyn Hi. And I have an Instagram bio, only so much as Taebyn Pub. I have merch on Fourth Wall. That's Taebyn-shop.fourthwall.com. I have t-shirts and stickers and a mug and stuff, and they're lots of fun. You should go check them out and see they're fun. Make sure to check out my YouTube where you can see Crispy Ascension and the Crispy Chicken. What is happening to me? I don't know. Crispy Chicken Saga. And lots of good math videos and various topics in calculus and linear algebra, and some fun things like how Mobius strips and Klein bottles relate. There's a history of our BFFT podcast. There really is. There's Cooking with Taebyn. You can learn how to make ice and toast and cook an egg and things like that. Oh my cow. And you can learn how to get things out of things. It's so amazing and fun. There's product reviews, drawings, and other fun random stuff. And hoping to have some furry music video, at least one. I won't name who I'm waiting on, but
I know it's me.
Okay, good. So you gave yourself a shout out. That's great. In any case, make sure to subscribe and check them all out. It's a lot of fun. My next cons are for Landy, of course, as we've been talking about. Then Anthro Weekend, Utah in July/August. August? I don't know what an August is, but it is August. Doing my story time with Taebyn, and Taebyn sings weird. Ow. I will have some songs I haven't done yet, so if you have seen my Taebyn sings weird all before, there will be some new things for you, so come join the fun. And I've got some new Taebyn ships, so make sure to get some new Taebyn ships, and I will see you at those things. That's the fun times. I stop now.
Okay. Well,
I am so glad to hear that sound.
that sound
Me too. I don't know what it is, but
means we are out of time here at BFFT. Listeners, we know you have a choice in podcasts, and we love that you choose to listen to ours. Remember, you can help support the show on Buzzsprout or through Patreon for as little as $3 a month. If you become a supporter on Buzzsprout for $5 a month or more, you will receive early access to the podcast release, which you can listen to on Buzzsprout. Typically, this would be about a week or 10 days prior to release. Every little bit helps to keep the lights on. Or if you listen on YouTube, why not hit that subscribe button? You can send us an email at bearlyfurcasting@gmail.com. Oh, and hey, if you send us a comment on the Buzzsprout fan mail section, be sure to include your contact information so we can respond and maybe reference the episode you are reaching out about. Rain, what are your parting thoughts?
as always, I would like to say, be kind to yourself and each other, Moobarkfluff, and stay furry.
Awesome. TikTok.
Keep up the fluff. You can always be fluffier.
Okay. Cheetaro.
As always, make people laugh, because if we all laughed in this world, the world would be a better place. Moobarkfluff.
Ziggy.
Keep faith, love always wins. Pop goes the weasel, and 6-7.
I was waiting.
Well, thanks.
I said it had to be organic. You can't just throw it in.
Okay.
Yeah, can.
Thanks to the
He
staff
did.
at Injured Nerds Podcast Network, and to all the furs out there, Moobarkfluff and Stay Furry. Taebyn, like all the times before, you have the final words.
Hi, I have the final words, and I am putting salt and pepper on them, and maybe even a little thyme and cumin, and they are tasting really good. So on that note, I will say thank you for all you furs that have been joining. Yes, been joining all these years. If you've been joining all these years, if this is your first time listening to the show, we hope you like it. If you're still listening to it now, we also feel a little sorry for you, but thank you anyway. And so we love doing this show. We've been going strong. We're close to the end of season 6, and we're still gonna do season 7. That's a season is 1 year, so we've been doing this almost 6 years. That's amazing. So any of you that have been here for a long time, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much that you're still with us. As I say, if you've just started listening, like Albrecht the Fox, thank you. If you like it, we hope you continue staying around in the BFFT family. So until then, we can't wait to bark at you next time. Until then, I say Moobarkfluff and stay furry.
Bearly Furcasting is an Injured Nerds studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms. The Furcast is produced, recorded and directed by Bearly Normal, aka Mike Vegan, and is edited by Bearly and associate producer Rain Raccoon. Opening and closing theme was created for Injured Nerds Productions for the use on the podcast by Regday with Damian Tanuki. Other interstitial and background music is from Epidemic Sound. Podcast cover art provided by staff artist Buncubus. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at bearlyfurcasting@gmail.com, or on our Telegram chat at BFFT Chat, or on the bearlyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at Buzzsprout or through Patreon at patreon.com/bearlyfurcasting. Be sure to check out our merch at bfft.dashery.com. Thanks for listening. We hope you return to listen again. Moobarkfluff everyone.